to go back to work.
Oh,
Even
boy.
when you want to go,
we both have been through
the stress of it. And now some companies are letting you bring your babies with you to work, to stay with you in your office or wherever it is that you do your job. And we're going to talk about the pluses and the minuses.
That's a minus right
That's
there.
cute.
And you train your kid early to answer the phone.
Also coming up this morning
is brought to you by McDonald's.
This morning on today's Working Woman, bringing your baby to work. About 55% of working mothers have a baby under the age of 1, and many of those moms struggle with the idea of going back to the office. But now there are a number of companies that might have the perfect solution. There's no sound in the world more precious to a mom than the sound of her happy baby. And these babies and their moms have a lot to be happy about at this law firm in Charlottesville, Virginia, where babies are welcome to join their mothers at work.
It's been wonderful. I've gotten to see some of the things that you wouldn't traditionally see because he'd be at daycare, you know, when he starts smiling and laughing, stuff like that. You get to see more of it. It's a lot of the first.
Having the ability to continue in your career and still be the best parent you can possibly be, it's so important to me. And I can't say enough about the benefits.
Benefits that extend to the employer, too. Mike Griffin is the office manager for Tucker, Griffin & Barnes.
When you've got a child with you, you're not 100%. I mean, we recognize that. But we'd much rather have people working here at 75, 80% and continuing the business than having an office with a lot of empty desks.
Carla Moquin, president of the Parenting in the Workplace Institute, thinks that companies need to set up formal guidelines for babies in the workplace programs in order to protect themselves and set limits for their employees.
It's worth it to the company. Allowing babies in the workplace improves morale. The improved morale leads to improved productivity. There are lower healthcare costs because bringing a baby to work enables women to continue breastfeeding. It helps recruit new job candidates.
All things that Mike Griffin considers great selling points.
Whenever we interview people for a new position, that's one thing we make clear, that this is our firm culture.
And in this culture, not having to make the choice between parenting and working is just the solution for some new parents.
It makes it easier just not having to make that decision of choosing between whether you work or whether you're staying home with the baby. The best of both worlds.
CEO. Carol Evans is the CEO of Working Mother Magazine. Carol, good morning to you.
Good morning, Meredith.
Is this a new trend? I had not heard of this before.
It's not really new. It's just that it's taking off in a bigger way. But back in the 80s, early 80s, when Working Mother Magazine was started, we had editors bringing their babies to work for a while there. So it's not brand new.
And it's not the same as childcare in businesses. That's different.
It's totally different. In childcare, your child is in a center, sometimes right in the workplace, but you know, you have to leave your office and go to another floor or even oftentimes to another building to visit that baby. Although there's one company, Cisco, that I know of that beams live feed of the baby to your office right on your computer.
So you have a little bit of connection
a little bit,
there.
yeah.
Let's go back over the pluses and the minuses.
Yes.
First, the pluses.
Well, there's a whole thing about guilt that mothers feel when they go back to work. This certainly alleviates the guilt. You are doing the max for bonding with your baby. And then there's the bonding. There's a real relationship that forms between the mother and child in those first weeks. So that's enhanced. And of course, in the office, sometimes this will bring a real brightness to the workplace.
Which is, I find interesting that the morale will pick up with all employees.
Well, not all. Many. Let's put it that way.
Well,
many.
What about the employees who don't like it because they find that it is a distraction? They might not have kids or not necessarily like having small children around.
Well, that's why this is really taking off in smaller companies. This has not been a policy instituted by big companies yet, but where employers are really trying to satisfy specific employees, and they know that this is what they want, they get the buy-in from a small group of employees who are around the baby and really enjoy it. If the employees don't like it, I'm sure these things won't last.
And what about clients? How do they look upon this?
Well, you know, clients have gotten to be really good about this because clients are understanding that their best people who are working on their accounts may be walking out the door because of having a baby. They don't want to lose the employees at the company that they care about.
And you believe also there should be a formal policy in place?
Yes, it's better to have a formal policy so that everybody feels the same. Otherwise, you get the good boss, bad boss problem, and you get one person satisfied, and that leads to really dissatisfaction if another person can't find that same benefit.
Yeah, we were joking around here what the words these little kids would learn.
Oh, yes.
If they were
here.
There are environmental issues.
Yeah,
You know, are the fluorescent lights too bright?
Right.
Is there a place to change the diaper that's safe? Is the safety of the company as a whole okay for the child? Are there germs in the office? You have to really think through some of the negatives too.
All right, Carol Evans, thank you so much.
Thank you, Meredith.
And up next, romantic Valentine's Day getaways that will lead to children. But first, this is Today on NBC.